So if you've watched any of my style mistake videos, it's safe to say I've mentioned running shoes once or twice, or maybe 100 times, because based off the number of times I've told men to ditch their running shoes and purchase a more stylish option, gents, I wouldn't blame you if you thought I hated them. But gents, that's not true. I actually love running shoes. I've been wearing and using running shoes my entire life. Seriously, when I was 10, I ran my first 5K with my mom. I ran track and cross country throughout middle school, and then in high school had the tough decision, should I play football because it's West Texas and everyone thinks you should, or should I run cross country? Well, thank goodness I had some pretty cool coaches. They actually let me do both. The way it worked is I couldn't miss football practice, and I would do my cross country workouts around it. And since football games were Friday nights, cross country meets on Saturday mornings, it worked out. And I'm happy I did that because I wasn't big enough to play football in college, but I was fast enough to run cross country in college, and I did it for 4 more years. And to this day, I'm still going out and getting in 1 to 2 runs a week. And on the days I'm not running, I'm usually out walking with my wife. We do these brisk walks all around town. The other day, she dragged me out for like 6 miles. So I'm sharing all this with you because over the years, I've had over 50 pairs of running shoes. I love them. And I do think if styled correctly, they can work. But gents, that's the key. How do you style running shoes? How do you make them look good? Well, gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video. So let's go back to the year 1895. We're going to go over to the UK. There's a company, J.W. Foster & Sons. The guys at this company are making footwear, but not any footwear. This is one of the first recorded instances of footwear being made specifically to help men run faster. What are they doing? They're actually setting up so they can have spikes right on the shoes to be able to give the runners better grip. Now, the idea of making shoes specifically to increase athletic performance is relatively new. For over a millennia, athletes have been using whatever they had on hand, and running barefoot or just simply using your work boots was a common practice. Well, in 1908, we had a company called Converse found it, and the idea was, hey, let's use these rubber soles. We've got this up-and-coming sport, basketball. Let's see what we can do. What they did do is find out these rubber soles not only made it super quiet, that's why they were called sneakers, but it also gave the people on the court more traction. And for the first athletes, a big advantage that other athletes immediately noticed and all of a sudden started ordering more of these shoes. Now, the idea of shoes improving speed and being able to mass produce these shoes didn't really happen until Adolf Dassler over at Adidas. Yes, we had smaller companies pop up here or there, but they were really specialized. Adidas was the first company that really took this and put it on steroids. Leave it to those Germans, right? Still, there was plenty of room for innovation. We saw the company Blue Ribbon Sports pop up in 1964. The founders, Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman, eventually renamed the company Nike. And it was Bowerman, by the way, who came up with the idea for the waffle sole. As the name implies, it was a shoe sole that was shaped like a waffle that gave superior traction and cushioning to runners. Throughout the 1980s and the 1990s, we saw tons of technological advancements from Reebok, from New Balance. They were using air cushioning, gel inserts, all with the goal of improving performance of athletes. But then something interesting happened in the 1980s and 1990s. They started using these vibrant colors, these elaborate designs, and the athletes that were wearing these shoes all of a sudden started popping up on television, on cereal boxes. We started seeing these shoes as iconic, as tools that our heroes were using, and therefore we wanted as well. Going into the 2000s, all of this was a fashion powder keg ready to explode, and then it met another trend and did. Now, gents, before I reveal what lit the fuse in blue running shoes into the stratosphere, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Nothing New. I've been talking about Nothing New for years, since the company was founded, focused on making great looking, comfortable, and high performance sneakers, all built with the highest quality, sustainable materials. And gents, that's why I love these guys. These guys are using recycled materials. Their mission is to make a positive impact on the environment while making amazing products for their customers. Now, this design I'm showing you right here is their recently released Verge. It's made from 100% sustainable materials. Basically, you've got a recycled mesh upper with chrome-free suede accents. They're using Ortholite insoles for all-day comfort, an EVA midsole for cushion support. The laces are recycled polyester and last a long time. They've got a really durable outer sole. In a nutshell, Nothing New has come out with a sneaker that's absolutely perfect. Seriously, as a running shoe aficionado, yes, I love my Brooks, but these are just more stylish, and they're just as comfortable. And gents, you don't have to believe me. Go over to the website, look at all the reviews, look at what everyone is saying about these shoes. These things are friggin' awesome. And gents, while you're over on their website, look at all the different styles, all the different types of sneakers they've got over there at Nothing New. If you want something that's a bit more distressed, something even more casual, check out their kicks. Me personally, I really like their Saga 1 line that comes in a variety of colors. And if you're just getting started with sneakers, you can't go wrong with their classic whites. Gents, I'm linking to Nothing New in the description of today's video. Use this link to get the best best deal on the web. Go over and check out Nothing New. Again, gents, great looking shoes. I've been wearing them. I love them. These things are friggin' awesome. Go check them out. Use that link in the description of today's video. So, what was the fuse that lit the powder keg? The answer? The trend of athleisure. Now, athleisure is defined as a fashion trend that combines athletic and leisure apparel. The idea is that athleisure creates outfits that are comfortable, functional, and stylish. Now, the trend started over 30 years ago in the late 1990s. In fact, athleisure companies that are behemoths now, like Lululemon, were founded in that time period. Now, fashion trends in general, both on the men's and women's side, have been moving towards more comfortable clothing for a long time. It started with the fabrics, the materials. Heck, even in suits, if you look at suits from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, those vintage pieces are going to be much heavier duty. The fabric's oftentimes much thicker, rougher, not nearly as comfortable. What we've moved towards is, hey, people want to be able to wear clothing, but they want it to feel good. They are demanding more from their clothing, and with the rise of the internet, all of a sudden we have micro brands shooting up, able to deliver what people actually want. We've also seen huge lifestyle changes. 25 years working from home, that was a luxury. Nowadays, it's seen as, hey, your company better have it, otherwise I'm not going to work for them. With the rise of 24/7 media, we don't just see celebrities on the red carpet, we see them all over the place, especially going to and from the gym, the grocery store, and what are they wearing? Athleisure clothing. So what's been the impact on running shoes? Running shoes became a fashion statement. Now, initially, it was a bad fashion statement. Celebrities and most people were simply wearing running shoes that they would actually use to work out in, but then people started stepping up, and so did the companies that were making the shoes. And in particular, let's look at some of the iconic pieces. The Nike Airmax. Iconic design, comfortable, a recognizable logo. For many people, this is the go-to original when it comes to running shoes. But what if you want a bit more cushioning? Look to the Adidas Ultraboost. Now, it started off as simply a great running shoe because it provided more cushion, but it eventually became a fashion statement. And of course, we can't forget the New Balance 990. Now, this one's got retro design, it's comfortable, and it actually gained traction in streetwear and fashion circles. So all this leads us to the question, how do you style running shoes as a grown-ass man? How do you look good wearing something that for most of us is considered to be something ultra casual? Well, that's a great question. And let's start off with the first rule. Keep it casual. Understand that running shoes are casual clothing. In general, you want to pair it with casual clothing. Unless you are a fashionista and you know what you're doing and you are setting the trend, it's your company and you want to wear those running shoes with your suit, then yeah, if it's your company, you do what you want. But in general, I recommend pairing running shoes with casual clothing. And sometimes that is a pair of performance pants and a t-shirt. Other times that same pair of performance pants and a polo. Or maybe joggers and that long sleeve Henley. The reality is, because of the rise of athleisure, in general, our workout clothing as a society, maybe not everybody's, but it's actually stepped up. As many of you guys know, the gym isn't what it used to be. Yes, you go there to work out, but a lot of people go there also to be seen and socialize. Or just film themselves. But the reality is people are dressing nicer than they did, in the 1980s. Which probably still works for you. Doesn't work for me, but, to each his own. Next up, let's talk about color coordination. There is that school of thought that believes that your shoes should work with the outfit. Because most workout gear is darker in color than wearing darker running shoes in general works. But then you have the opposite side that say, hey, let's have fun with them. Don't be afraid to wear a white pair of running shoes or a light pair of running shoes with maybe a little bit of color on them. And of course, then there are the people that say, I'm going to wear something eclectic, something that is bright, something that just grabs attention. The right answer here, I don't think there is one. I think, though, that you should think through the process. It shouldn't be something random. You should feel confident. Put those on and say, you know what? These things look good. They look good on me. They're going to work with my outfit. I'm going to wear this and just simply look good and feel proud about who I am. Rule number 3, and this one is so important, cleanliness. I think all those lists in which I tell people to stop wearing running shoes, it's because they're wearing beat up, old running shoes that they've actually put miles on. Nothing wrong with shoes like that for when you're out running. But if you're going to be wearing them around town and they're more of a fashion sneaker, then in that case, I do think they should look good. Make sure the laces are clean. Make sure you don't have any stains on the shoe. In fact, I think it's a good idea to have multiple pairs of running shoes. Some that you actually run in, and especially on muddy days. Others that are just more for show. They're comfortable. You like to wear them day to day, but they're not ones that you want to get dirty because you're going to wear them around other people. You want them to look good with your outfits. Now, I know some of you guys have been watching this video and about to puke. You're like, Antonio, how can you recommend running shoes at all? They're not for a stylish gentleman. I disagree. And the reason, they are just so darn comfortable. And there's so many people out there. I mean, you guys write me, you've got foot issues. You've tried all types of dress shoes and they're just not comfortable. I get it. And that's where I think running shoes do come in and fill a purpose. Day to day, if your feet are more comfortable in running shoes and they look good and you can style them up with your outfits, then go for it. So what video to watch next? Let's talk about casual style this summer. colors. Guys, I got you covered. In case you missed this video, I just put it out. It's a good one. Boom, right here, talking about colors, casual outfits, solid one. Boom, check it out. Yeah, right here.